I think. Okay, today we are starting lesson 22 in course 3 on multiplying and dividing fractions. You already know how to multiply and divide fractions. This is just a review. However, they want you to be able to model it. So if you have to model 1/2 times 1/4, you know that you multiply numerators and get 1, and you multiply denominators and get 8, but how would you model it? This says we need to show half, so we are going to divide this rectangle in half. This said we need to show fourths, so we are going to divide this one into fourths. To show 1/2, put horizontal lines through 1/2 of the picture. To show 1/4, put vertical lines through 1/4 of the picture, and look where there are double hatch marks. The double hatch marks are right here, and that represents 1/8 of the picture. So when they ask you to model, make sure you're drawing something like this. The next problem they ask you to model is 1/3 times 2/3. You would multiply it and you would get 2/9. I've already divided this into thirds both ways. This says color in 1/3. So we're going to put our horizontal lines on 1/3. This says mark 2/3, so we're going to put our vertical lines on 2/3, and then we're going to identify the space that has both hatch marks. It's right here. 2 out of the 9 boxes have hatch marks, so your answer is 2/9. You might be asking, do you have to make these models every time? No, you don't, only if they tell you to model the problem. Our next problem, if you have 3/4 of 8/9, you have to remember that the word of means multiply. You have two options to do this problem. You can multiply the numerators, you can multiply the denominators, and then you can reduce the fraction to 2/3, or the much easier way to do it would be to cross cancel. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 8 twice, multiply across, and you get 2/3. You can choose either way that you want. This makes it easier. You're not multiplying as large of numbers. We have used the term reciprocals before. The new term that they are going to use is multiplicative inverse. If you remember, you should be saying this with me right now, any number times its reciprocal equals 1. This is called the inverse property of multiplication. They may say to you, how many 1/4 are in 1? They're asking you, what do you multiply 1/4 by to make it equal 1? You multiply it by 4 over 1, so the answer is 4. If you had the problem 3/4 divided by 1/3, there are two different ways that you can solve this problem. This first way, you would say, well, how many 1/3 are in one whole? And the answer would be 3. If you know there are 3 1/3 in one whole, and you want to find out how many 3s are in 3/4, you would multiply by the number in 1. You would get 9/4, which equals 2 1/4. The process that we learned for division of fractions is this process here. The first step would be to copy down the divisor. Copy down the dividend, not the divisor. The second step is change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And the third step is to write the reciprocal, or the multiplicative inverse of the divisor. So you would say 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4, and the answer is 2 1/4. If it's easier for you to find out how many fractional pieces are in 1 first, and then do the multiplication, that's fine. If you're able to do it this way, it's much easier and much quicker. This lesson is a review of both 6th and 7th grade multiplication and division of fractions. So hopefully you've used it as a review and you remember all the rules. Let's go back to page 1. Your assignment for tomorrow is practice set C through N. A and B are modeling problems if you want to try them, because I believe on one of the tests you do have a modeling problem. That would be a great idea. If you think you're comfortable with modeling, that's good too. We'll probably try one in class tomorrow. Good luck. We'll see you with the practice set and the notes.